Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker spoke earlier this hour to reporters about a potential Trump administration plan. The president has said Chicago could be the next city where the federal government imposes a crime crackdown.
I want to speak plainly about the moment that we are in and the actual crisis, not the manufactured one, that we are facing in this city and as a state and as a country. If it sounds to you like I am alarmist, that is because I am ringing an alarm, one that I hope every person listening will heed, both here in Illinois and across the country.
Shaquille Brewster of NBC News was at that briefing, and he joins me now. So, Shaquille, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us on this story today. What else did the governor have to say? And more importantly here, how did he say it?
Good to be with you as well. And, you know, it's very interesting because he made those comments right behind me as he's talking with reporters in almost a show of force. You have community members here, other leaders in the state of Illinois and in Chicago there before him. And the message that you're hearing from the governor and from the other leaders here is that there is no emergency in the city of Chicago that justifies the use of the National Guard. And they're kind of giving a warning to President Trump, saying that if he does decide to take over the National Guard in the same way that he did in LA or Washington, D.C., that they will take him to court. There will be a heavy resistance to those actions. The governor making that point as he kind of went around the city of Chicago. He went on a boat that went right past Trump Tower, the water taxi there, saying that this is a beautiful city, there's no emergency here. He walked from that water taxi station to this press conference, and it was on that walk that I was able to ask him a couple of questions and talk to him a little bit about the fact that, yes, crime is dropping in the city of Chicago. It's trending in the right direction, but is there more that can be done? Listen to a little bit of what he told me.
To any federal official who would come to Chicago and try to incite my people into violence as a pretext for something darker and more dangerous, we are watching and we are taking names.
And I'm not sure if that video played there, but his point to me was that, yes, the gun violence that you see in the city of Chicago, it is tragic, but it doesn't necessitate an emergency that requires the National Guard to come in and militarize the city, essentially.
Shaquille, we did hear that, so that was great to hear a little bit more of the governor. And I know that you've also been speaking with local leaders in Chicago about this. So what do they have to say?
Yes. You know, one point I heard from the mayor of Chicago just yesterday, that as he was in one of the areas, one of the communities in Chicago responsible for about 15% of the crime, he said that he believes that having the National Guard here and then the protest and the reaction from members of the community, the opposition that would likely come, he believes that could undercut the progress that you've been seeing in this city. We talk about the fact that crime is trending down in this city. That means last year, this year compared to last year, homicides, shootings, robberies, all down more than 30%. The mayor saying it's the work that his administration, in conjunction with the state government, is doing. That's what's leading to that decline. And he believes that any resistance that you have from the existence of a National Guard, that can undercut the progress that the city of Chicago has seen.
And Shaquille, just finally here, it may be harder for the White House to get National Guard boots on the ground in Chicago compared with Washington, D.C. So remind us why that is.
Yeah, that's a great point there. In Washington, D.C., it's a district, it's not a state. So President Trump has control over the D.C. National Guard and is able to send them out and give them orders in a way that he, on paper at least, cannot with other states like Illinois. The distinction is the law does allow a president to take over or federalize the National Guard if he's not able to execute the laws of the federal government and if there's an act of rebellion. And that's why you have the leaders of Illinois going through the city of Chicago trying to say, hey, there is no emergency here, there's no rebellion, there's no uprising that would justify the use of the National Guard. But the reporting that we're hearing out of Washington, D.C., and we heard from President Trump in the Oval Office just earlier today, he is making clear that he has his eyes on Chicago, and he believes he has the power to take over the National Guard and send in military troops to this city if he decides to take that action.
Shaquille, so good of you to join us on this. Thank you. That was Shaquille Brewster of NBC News reporting for us from Chicago.
Great to be here.